Chalmers.
Sean McCown.
When did you start at camp?
78.
78. And were you a camper?
I was a camper. I was diagnosed when I was 14
Yeah.
in February or March, and I got one of the last spots in D camp.
Who was your counselor?
That first year, David Cliff, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
What about the next year?
Stu Spencer.
Stu Spencer. I've heard the name Stu Spencer. I don't know.
Yeah, Stu Spencer was one of the early staff, and he lots of energy, just like most staffers at that age. And, you know, really, really good. Unfortunately, we lost him last year. He passed away in England, where he had lived with his wife and 2 daughters.
But you kept in touch with him since
Through
1979.
Through the networks of Huronda.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I don't. He was here for the 35th.
Yeah.
And chatted with him about his influence on me and that. But yeah, he those 2 years as you know, 14 and 15 years of age. Came from the Belleville area in Ontario, and there weren't many of us Type 1s there. It's not known.
Yeah.
And Huronda was an influence in my life for sure, based on those 2 years with Dave and Stu, and the canoe trips, and you know, meeting a camp full of people with Type 1 diabetes. It was eye-opening, and I didn't really appreciate how much those 2 years plus my CIT year and my 2 years as a counselor had affected me till much later in life. But most certainly, there's been some long time friendships. And
Who'd you look up to on staff?
Oh, geez. Well, in 78 and I think 79, Shirley Griffin and Dave Bolt were Trip Hut, and they were a dynamic duo. They just...
Well, I will tell you, like, people have been talking to me here, like, they mentioned Trip Hut people. Nobody has talked about, oh, what wonderful waterfront staff, or the craft. We had great times in the craft shop. It's somehow Trip Hut runs deeper.
Yeah, it does, and that doesn't take away from waterfront or
a little bit, yeah.
Maybe, but you know, Jay Fogarty did a great job in his years on canoes.
But he was Trip Hut too, wasn't he?
Jay? No, he was waterfront. Yeah, he was a counselor for a few years. I don't believe he did Trip Hut. He's the only, besides Dave Anderson.
He gave out the best paddler award, the most enthusiastic paddler.
But Dave Anderson and Jay were the only guys that I've ever seen do roll a canoe.
Wow, like upside down and back right
like
side
a kayak.
up? Wow.
Yeah.
You think they could recreate that this weekend?
I think they would just laugh at us if we suggested it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, Dave Anderson, Mike Bruce was on staff. He was my CIT, I forget what they called it back then, coordinator or whatever. Yeah. In '83, I had applied to come back, but I, rightly or wrongly, chose to go for the brass ring and become a Trip Hut person.
Yeah.
And that year, Uncle Don put area staff to the side and didn't deal with them until after all the other positions had been filled. So when I didn't make the cut. There was no coming back. So I spent the summer painting houses. But,
yeah,
that's all right. My dad said I had to make real money anyway. So.
And were you drawn to any particular area of camp?
Trip Hut.
Trip Hut.
Trip Hut and horses. I remember spending a lot of time at Trip Hut and horses. And at the time, I don't know whether it was because of the Trip Hut, the horse ladies, or whatever. But at first, I was scared of the horses. Like literally.
I was scared of horses.
Yeah. But Megan Thompson at the time, and now Megan Smith. I forget what her maiden name was. Anyway, she helped me conquer that fear. And in my last year as a counselor, I was out on trail rides a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I haven't ridden much since, but
there weren't many camps that had horses.
No, there weren't.
No.
No.
And that was left over from like the girl camp.
Where was it?
Yeah, they had a barn and they rented horses and
okay,
Camp
I didn't know
just
that.
kept going
I've
with
learned
that.
a lot about the history this week today.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been a lot of interesting tidbits. So yeah, it's and you, who influenced you?
Well, you know, when I first came on staff, like I felt like Craig Floyd was like the coolest guy here. But then like Marna and Todd were the program directors, and yeah, like I can really like I didn't have diabetes.
Oh no.
And I just showed up here as a fluke, really, and I couldn't believe that this group of people was here
Oh, wow.
in the world, and just
Yeah.
it was such a strong community and focused on doing their jobs, and
A lot of energy, and I remember Uncle Don. I think he probably had the most influence. He was such a calm, upbeat influence for everyone, and someone you could talk to, and he listened to everybody.
Yeah,
He
and
took
people
the
have
time.
talked here a lot about him just allowing you to be yourself. 'Cause, I was a bit of a weird kid, and didn't quite fit in, and here, like,
I believe that after you acclimatized, everyone's true self came out.
yeah, that's right.
At home, wherever you were from, I don't know how to describe it. There's a phenomenon, right? Like you're not really honest about yourself with yourself. That's not right either. But there's a sense, right?
The place strips away all the extra stuff, all the fake stuff.
Yeah, like I mean, here it's about really, getting along, having fun when you were on staff, doing the best job that you could, just getting wrapped up in it. I mean, you have to be totally committed to the kids, right? Because that's basically, we were kids ourselves at the times, but just a few years older. But at that age, it made a whole lot of difference, right? We had a few more years of life experience, and giving it back to the other kids, whether you were a counselor, an area staff, or a maintenance person, or whatever, you were involved with it.
Yeah.
So there was just a lot of energy, and consequently for me, I met Jan here, and we found ourselves in the same camp circles, and when she became available again, we found ourselves hanging out a lot. And,
So you married her?
I married her.
Yeah, good work.
And my stepkids, they came here. Ian was a camper here and then staff for a lot of years, just like a lot of other folks. And he found Becca here. And Jamie, our daughter, came here on staff when she was 16, and she found Zach here. And so, there's quite a bit of Huron in our family. So
you're wrapped up in it.
And even, the kitten from Fred. When Mike Bruce brought up Fred for a summer in 80 or 81.
Yeah.
And, Marna wanted to take a kitten home, so Jan said she'd drive the kitten home.
Yeah.
Jan got to Marna's house. Mom said, no, got enough pets. There's already cats here, dogs here, pigeons,
So you kept the cat.
Guinea pigs. So the kitten went home with Jan, and she named him Bear after Judy Bear Cat. That was the song of that song.
The Bear Cat, yeah.
So he was known as Bear, and we kept him alive his last 3 years because he developed type 1 diabetes. So, the vet wanted to charge us a lot of money for animal insulin, but we looked at it and went, no, we have that in the fridge at home. So interesting managing a cat via symptoms.
Yeah. How do you feel walking around here this weekend?
It's been good.
There's more than one emotion, like,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, for the longest time after camp, and we would be driving our kids up and stopping in for a visit, and while Ian and Jamie were on staff, we always brought in July and August a staff snack. It'd be a big bag of corn or corn on the cob or fourth or whatever, and we'd walk around and see the place. And for the longest time, I was upset about the changes.
This is the
And I, age.
Not the same. Camp isn't the same, but
But camp eventually wisdom kicks in, right? Which is age and experience. And I kind of realized that the constant is the spirit.
Oh.
It's the constant, the spirit, the energy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about the facilities. It doesn't matter about the program, although everyone's nostalgic from their time. But when you're here and you see the kids running around at any given moment in history, time, it's the same energy.
Yeah.
It's the absolute same energy.
Yeah.
And so that is the quintessential goal. Right? So, and that's so good to see that even today we're here and the current staff is exuding their energy, helping support this event.
Yeah.
So it's really good that way. So,
Do you have any more of these patches available for sale?
I believe there's probably lots.
All right, I'm gonna buy one of those patches or a couple.
Yeah, they were. I kept 10 for myself, but I had 200 made, and all the proceeds from the sale are going to the camp. So
nice.
I thought I just wanted to give some way I can contribute to about the fundraising part of the event. So
I'm selling honey.
Oh, is that yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how many are gone? I haven't even noticed.
Most of them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
I've got $90 right here.
Cool. That's great. Good for you. It's from your own little hive.
My own little stash.
Yeah, cool. Very good. Yeah. Well, graphics was my first career, and still dabble in it every now and then, as you well know, helping out with all the Friends of Camp Yolanda stuff.
That's very professional work out there.
Yeah. Well, also my scouting career, which as a volunteer came, and I took to liking it a lot because the activities reminded me of here. Camp.
Yeah.
It was mainly to help out Ian when he transferred from Beavers to Cubs, because we were late in registering him. So someone had to become a volunteer in order to allow him to continue.
Yeah.
He quit when he was 14, and I'm still doing it. But shortly retiring, so farm scouting. It's been a fun run due to Camp Yolanda, that's for sure.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Cut. Excellent.
All right.